Alaikum warahmatullah. A few days ago, I asked you guys to pose any questions that you have, and inshallah, I'll try answering them in a video format. Again, these are going to be brief and some really good questions that people have asked, and please do continue to ask. You can private message me, or you can just at the end of this thread or the previous one add some questions. So our sister Rina Siddiqui asked, how do we balance culture in Islam? I mean, this is a question that I get quite often. Those who believe that there's no room for culture in Islam, I think that perspective is absolutely ludicrous. As human beings, it's part of our ethnography, it's part of our urf, it's part of our identity to have different cultures. You have Pakistani Muslims, you have Malaysian Muslims, Indonesian Muslims, you have people from Saudi Arabia, from the Arab world, from Britain to UK, right? How people apply the faith and what the faith means to people is absolutely different, and I think that's the diversity in our faith. So those who believe that there's no culture in Islam, I think have a very simple, reductive understanding of the faith. And I say that culture plays a huge part in Islam because when the jurists, the fuqaha, would actually release religious edicts like fatwa, what's called the urf, which I mentioned earlier. The urf is the ethnography, like the social customs, the rituals of a particular society played a huge part. Before that mufti could actually give a fatwa, he had to reflect the cultural norms, the societal norms of his society. Now, so take for example, if a woman wants to, people come from the Indian subcontinent, if a woman wants to wear the shalwar kameez and she's covering her modesty, I think that's absolutely fine. It's not necessarily that part of Islam is to become Arabized or to adopt a Arab culture in order for you to be Islamic. It's not. Islam allows you to keep your identity. The only time when it becomes problematic is when parts of your culture seem to superimpose and supersede Islam. That's when it becomes problematic. And that's when you have to try differentiating between, okay, what is Islamic and what is culture? And if the two are conflicting one another, then obviously I have to give preference to Islam. I mean, take the example again, a common issue I have to deal with is when people say, like, if my parents get me engaged. So in some cultures, once you're engaged, it's as good as being married. So you guys can chill together, you can go out together, you can hold hands. When Islamically, if you get engaged, the person is still not a mahram to you until nikah is performed. So in that sense, Islam would draw the line between the idea of sharing space and boundaries and being in khalwa, in privacy with one another. So that's just an example. So culture doesn't necessarily, Islam doesn't get rid of people's cultures. I think Islam in a sense enhances people's lives. It helps people make the ethical choices. But if there are times of situations you find yourself where the culture seems to contradict the faith, then obviously preference has to be given to Islam. But the more you study, the more you appreciate. Honestly, I think the problem stems from the lack of Islamic understanding when it comes to idea of culture in Islam. Like I said, these are not two points that are, in a sense, mutually exclusive from one another. And many a time they actually are linked. So again, be proud of your identity, be proud of who you are, and enjoy life. Absolutely, as long as it's within the boundaries of Sharia. I hope that helps. If you have any points to add to this, inshallah, just add it to the comments, and I'll continue answering your guys' questions. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.